Showtime! The Capital G Show starts right now.
What's up YouTube, Capital G here. So guys, we all know that in the video game world there was a monumental event that happened earlier this week. I'm talking of course of the release of Grand Theft Auto 5, and I finally got my hands on it. Just got back from GameStop, and yes, I do know that I'm the last person on the planet to finally get the game, but hey, I had to work a bunch this week, and even on my day off I had something to do. But the point is, I finally got the game. It is one of the most influential video game series in history, and in honor of GTA, I am bringing you the top 5 game stealing cards of the format. Number 5, Skill Drained. Okay, so I'm actually a little conflicted on this one. On one hand, it's great for Blackwings because we have Collude and the deck really isn't all that effect reliant. But on the other hand, it's great in Dragons because, you know, they don't have to return to the hand and they're big ass self-replacing beat sticks. Oh, Skill Drain, how could you? How could you turn your back on control players like that? Seriously, I haven't been this disappointed in a card since Konami ruled that Green Baboon couldn't use its effect during the damage step. I still haven't got over that one. Skill Drain makes this list because it does what any great lockdown card does. Stops your opponent from doing whatever the hell it is that they want to do. You know, I'd say that there are at least a handful of good competitive decks that completely implode just at the sight of this card. Prophecy, Infernity, Dragoonity, you know what, just any art type that ends with the letter Y, let's just say that. And you know what the best thing about Skill Drain is? Even when it leaves the field, it's not like I lose, but I know that as long as I have it on the field, you can't win. Number 4, Blaster, Dragon Ruler of Infernos. You like how I went all official and used the whole name there? Blaster has to make this list because this guy has won so many bad players' games that they shouldn't have won. We should just change this card's name to Dark World. You know, Blaster is essentially the handyman or the Mr. Fix-It of the archetype. You know, if you have a problem, don't worry, Blaster will fix it for a very small fee of 1 extra card, of course. But think for a second of every good card to use against Dragon Rulers. Cards like Iron Wall and Soul Drain and Kaiku and Vanity's Emptiness and just any good card you can think of. You want to know what they all have in common? Yeah, Blaster gets rid of all of them. Step 1, pop problem card with Blaster. Step 2, kill day ass. You know, it's also probably worth noting that you can summon Blaster using whatever the fuck this thing is. Someone actually cited this against me once. It was pretty effective. I just thought, you know, maybe it was worth noting. You're probably thinking, don't forget, you know, he's a 2800 beater who can essentially kill anything in battle on top of that. But don't worry, I haven't forgot about his stats. I just feel like they're icing on the cake. And even if the cake wasn't a lie and it was a problem for Dragon Rulers, Blaster would just deal with that too. Number 3, Spellbook of Fate. Alright, so let's be honest here. Spellbook of Fate is probably the solo reason that Prophecy is still a coherent competitive deck right now, and I still consider it the scariest removal card in the game. I mean, it lets you reuse effects, it lets you bounce spells and traps, it lets you put monsters face down, stop attacks, stop cards that stop attacks, and pretty much anything else you can think of that's beneficial in Yu-Gi-Oh! Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if Fate did your taxes. I mean, the card does whatever else you want it to do, it seems. But the real reason Fate is so good, which by the way makes every other thing that I just said about this card a complete and utter waste of time, is it does not target. This means essentially you can activate it and your opponent is all but helpless as you sit there and cherry pick whatever the hell you deem the problem card to be that they control, and then just systematically get rid of it. Oh, and one last thing, Spellbook of Fate is, I think, the only thing on earth easier to recycle than hip-hop beats from the 1980s. Ain't that right, Puff Daddy? I thought you told you that, we won't stop. I thought I told you that, we won't stop. Number 2, Black Whirlwind, the San Andreas of the list. I guess I mainly say that because they're both black. No, actually, I think that's the only reason I say that. Oh, Black Whirlwind, how I love you so. You took one of my favorite archetypes of all time from the pits of mediocrity and brought them back to a highly competitive level, single-handedly. You're just like Andrew Luck, except he's a football player and you're a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Whirlwind creates a ton of advantage, and you know the best thing about it is with each step of the Whirlwind ladder, it's like you have your own little specific use. Whether that be using something like Kalut to run over a monster in battle, Gale for the synchro plays, Zephyros, the ultimate utility card which can allow you to use other cards twice like Fiendish Chain, or Bora, who is just a simple beat stick who you use to spam the field and close out games. Now the thing about dealing with one Whirlwind is it's a lot like living with AIDS. I mean, you can kind of manage it for a while, even though it's probably going to kill you anyways. But with Whirlwind back at 3, when your opponent gets 2 or more Whirlwinds, I mean, it's pretty much a done deal. You know, Whirlwind creates advantage upon advantage upon advantage, and usually it just overwhelms the opponent. And that's why I think it has to be on this list. And number 1, Return from the Different Dimension. And this one should have been really, really obvious. You know, it is one of the most stupidly designed cards ever, and I don't use that term very often. In fact, you can go through and check my 500 or so odd videos. The word stupidly doesn't come up that much. Return from the Different Dimension should essentially read, if you don't stop this shit, you lose, because that's exactly what happens. You know, most cards that say as many as possible are a bad idea to begin with, but when that as many as possible action is special summoning monsters, well then, it's just ridiculous. I mean, Konami took something that was already over the top and powerful, and for no explained reason, made it even more powerful and over the top. And I'm pretty sure that's how crack cocaine was created. I mean, hell, Return's card design is so busted, they even referenced it in Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series.
Wait a minute, did you just summon a bunch of monsters in one turn?
Yeah, so?
That's against the rules, isn't it?
No, Yugi, it isn't, but it probably should be. And I think that this card is eventually going to find its way to the ban list. It's chainable, you can use it during the battle phase, you always will have half of your life points to pay. There literally isn't any downsides to Return from the Different Dimension. It is just a game-stealing card, and when it goes off, you win. So let me know what you guys thought of this list. Maybe I missed some cards that you think should be on there. Comment that below, and thank you for watching.